Jono and the thinking class. Can you all hear me okay?
You sound crystal clear.
Okay, awesome. So I definitely wanted to come up and chime on this. So I grew up with my biological father, and I have an estranged relationship on and off. And whether our relationship was on or off, I had many issues with anger and resentment growing up and even in my young adulthood because there was a lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my mother's story, I know my father's story, and the stories are very similar, with the exception of my biological father was able to give me more context to the story.
Mm.
And then with personal development,
Mm-hmm.
with character building and spiritual maturity, I was able to understand a lot about what both my mother and father did and didn't say with better understanding through my own growth.
Mm.
And I was able to also come to realize with real manifestation of spiritual maturity that regardless to when or whether or not my father was going to be in my life, the, there's a deck of cards and there are hands that were dealt. These were just, that was just a hand that I was dealt.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, it's up to me to how I'm going to play my hand in this game on this table,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Very important.
also, I was able to really, really have a life and relationship changing conversation
Mm.
on and on period with my biological father,
Mm.
where we connected. Both he and I are veterans,
Mm.
and out of all the conversations that we've had over time, this one period where we really connected over a conversation about war gave me an even deeper understanding of him and us and them
Mm-hmm.
that was completely life changing. And because of what happened in that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to tell him something that I didn't tell him before, that I had come into a place of authentic and true forgiveness,
Mm.
love, and release, where
Mm.
he was free. And I wanted him to be free from whatever it was that he said, didn't say, didn't do, thought, didn't thought, and however it would come to play and whatever was left of the remaining of his life, that I was good and
Mm.
I was thankful.
Mm. Mm.
Then, then he was not long after that, he was diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
And upon my many visits with him at the hospital, my last visit, I said to him again, I looked him in his eyes and I grabbed his hand and I said, I want you to know,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I'm good.
Mm.
I I am good.
Mm.
I love you and I'm thankful. I was his only child. Now
Mm.
I was blessed to grow up without my mother ever speaking one bad word about him.
Mm.
Ever.
Mm.
Ever.
Mm.
No matter what. And
Mm.
it took me a long time to understand that, but I'm so grateful for that because anything that I was going to have or think that was going to be a negative reflection, it was going to be from my own thoughts, my
Mm-hmm.
own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It was up to me, not her. She had nothing bad to say.
Mm.
Now, let me add this.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather,
Mm-hmm.
I have watched over the years the problems and the issues that he had with his own children
Mhm.
be worked on and be further developed in the relationship,
Mhm.
manifesting where forgiveness and love, where with them too, there was so much anger, so much lack of understanding and resentment. And I would say in all of our cases, we had a right to everything that we felt. We were
Mhm.
kids. And even
Right.
as young adults, we were human beings that did not ask to come here,
Mhm.
but were a manifestation and the results of two other people coming together. So we had a right to our feelings,
Mhm.
but they also have a right to theirs.
Right. So once with the teaching this week, what was one thing that really penetrated your heart when it came to the dynamics with your stepfather and your father?
I would say the up seating conversation was
Mm,
very thought provoking
mm,
and talking about what is missing, the things that they bring to the table, the logic, the protection, um, and things like that, not just the provision, but along with the provision, the
mm,
authority, the
mhm,
authority.
mm,
And even though my mother was solid and my mother was kind and stern, I still, and even though he was there on and off, there was still something that I desired. That
mm,
even though my stepfather brought it when he brought it,
mhm.
because I felt like and I desired it and I wanted it from the cell that I originated from.
That's good right there. Mm, mm, mhm,
So where I then even had to have a conversation with my stepdad. And I had the kind of stepdad that also he encouraged the relationship between my biological father and I. He never wanted to replace him.
mm,
He never wanted to overstep him. You know what I'm saying? He never wanted him to feel instant. Again, whatever decisions were going to be made regarding that was going all up to me. But I had to have a conversation with him and say, you know what? You don't know this,
mhm,
but I must share this with you.
mhm,
There were times that I looked way past you
mm,
and way over you because you were who you were and not who I wanted you to be.
mm,
And that's not your fault. And I'm so grateful that whether in the things and I acted out. See, when before I was able to really express myself, I had a way of acting out. And my way of acting out was in aggression.
mhm.
So I would never start a fight. But if anyone started one with me, I was here to finish it.
Right.
So I just want to say, I just want to encourage people to, come to grips with yourself and the cards that you're dealt with, right? Come to grips with that and understand. And it may take some time, it may not happen right away, and that's okay. But open the door to
Mhm,
your heart to
mhm.
receive that and to release that because you and whether you think